You're watching All to Play For, brought to you by Joe and Virgin Bet.
Hello and welcome to All to Play For, brought to you by Joe and Virgin Bet with me, Steve Sidwell and Joleon Lescott. Joining us today, we have a goalkeeping legend, a Premier League great, and someone that's part of the FIFA Century Club with 134 international caps, making him second in the list of Republic of Ireland's all-time appearance list. Unbelievable achievement. It can only be the one and only Shay Given. Shay,
Yes,
welcome to the show.
That's a welcome.
Thanks for coming down. Before we start, people that know Shay and follow him on social media and stuff, we want to get behind the name of the horse. Where does horse come from? Me and Joe have played
for
with
over
Shay.
18s. This
Yeah, man. Goes out after 5 p.m.
Actually, it happened in the World Cup back in 2002.
Yeah.
My brothers and my mates went over to Japan and stuff, and they were in the taxi. It's not too dodgy. And there's three of them in the taxi, and one was in the front, two in the back. And the guys go, lads, if you trump, someone's trumped in the car, like in the back, trumped, like obviously Japanese, like. He turned around to the driver and goes, "Hey horse, you're rotten." But where I come from is from the country. We go like probably London. All right, pal. All right, mate.
Yeah.
How's it going? But up in the country where I'm from, you go, "How's it going, horse?"
Yeah.
So from that sort of moment, it kind of stuck. It was a funny line from to the taxi driver, and the Japanese guys driving going, "What is horse like?" Either.
So anyone that follows Shay on social media, you'll see any comments or Shay.
It's like the beehive, isn't it?
Insane. It's like horse.
Yeah.
Just the horse's head is everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Right, from the horse's head to Qatar. The World Cup so far, we're in full flow. How have you found the tournament so far?
Yeah. I mean, it's a strange one because it's in the middle of winter, isn't it? But apart from that, once the games got underway and stuff, and I think my pick before was Brazil. I think my head was saying Brazil. My heart was saying Argentina because of the Messi, and you'd like him to get his hands on it before he retires. But then they lost the first game. It was like,
I know.
definitely going to be Brazil now. But Brazil look good. Like, I mean, Neymar's out injured, but still the backup they have is phenomenal. Like,
Republic of Ireland obviously didn't make it to
No.
Qatar. Who are you? I mean, I know you said Brazil, but is that who you're rooting for?
Yeah.
Who
I
do you
mean,
want to win?
even
Who do you
England.
think's going to win? Who do you want to win?
I would like to see Brazil win actually, but it's been 20 years since they won the World Cup, isn't it?
I know,
And-
it's phenomenal, isn't it?
You know, growing up as a kid, I think you always watched the
Yeah.
Brazilian tops and all
Yeah.
the flair players they had over the years. I think they just, even the first game, they started making changes, and some of the players were taken off the bench. I was like, the pool of talent they have is just phenomenal. Like.
Yeah, it's frightening.
But I hope England do well as well. I know a few English lads, obviously.
Say
so-
that with a smirk on your face.
He just dropped that one.
You don't
in there,
need
didn't
that.
he?
You don't need that.
I'm not even sure he meant that. Is he still sweating underneath that sheepskin top?
That navy sheepskin.
I do a 15,000 steps to get here finish where I'm sweating.
Oh, dear me. Joleon, what game sort of stood out so far for you, or individual team?
Team. You got to say France.
France do
stood
look
out,
good, don't they?
France looked good. I know Shay, we looked to mention them, but the game, the South Korea game was good,
Yeah,
and the Cameroon game.
That was, wasn't it?
they were
Yeah.
exciting games, loads of goals. Didn't see the score lines, didn't see the changes in momentum. To be fair, what was it, 2-0 up, and then all of a sudden I turned back and it was 2-2. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah.
And Ghana came through, so Senegal, sorry. Yeah,
Did some good ones.
yeah. Was it the early games have been pretty poor at night?
Yeah,
I think there's
they
like,
needed to get warmed up a little bit.
yeah, I don't know what
and
kind
then-
of temperatures it is over there. Them early games.
Have you
but-
spoke to anyone out there that's been out there that's either working or fans, that like
Yeah,
to say
I've
they're
had a few
enjoying it, or
FaceTimes. Yeah, I've had a few FaceTimes from Micah. He's
Yeah.
Having a good time, isn't he?
Yeah, he
supposed,
seems-
to,
yeah.
supposed to be working, isn't he? But he's not, is he?
Yeah, he's working on social.
loves a breadstick, that boy,
Oh
doesn't he?
my god!
Wow.
One too many. One too many breadsticks.
It's actually a French roll. He's not a brain and a breadstick.
Yeah.
Right, no. Just a question, sorry, Julian, on France. And so obviously they've been really good, but one player obviously stands out, Mbappe. But say if he, like a Neymar situation, do you think their chances go if he goes down, for example?
I think they reduced 100% because that's with anyone. That's like saying
considering they're
Harry
missing
Kane
Pogba
or.
But
Benzema as
for
well.
example, for me, Neymar obviously is missing, and I still think that they could win the World Cup without Neymar.
Yeah,
I know
because
it's a big statement, but
No, I know why that. I know what you're saying. That I don't think Neymar has the same impact that Mbappe has for France. I don't think like they're so as we looked on him, I was relying on him. Mbappe is huge, like a huge miss. But they've got players that can come in and cause problems. But it's different to Neymar for me.
I mean, Richarlison scored that unbelievable overhead kick, didn't he? Sidewinder.
He's a good talking point, actually. So, Onham said, what would you say? He has a brilliant World Cup, Richarlison. He comes back to Tottenham and he's maybe Golden Boot winner, wins a World Cup. Like, what would you do? Would you come back and be on the bench at Tottenham, for example?
That's
a
think
really
it's
good,
different.
You know, when you're at the top of the world and then you go, you're on the Antonio Conte goes,
you're
on the bench next week.
Well, it's a quick turnover as well. From the World Cup to the Premier League, he's got to be coming back.
Yeah, it's going to be a week. But again, the way Harry Kane's playing, you can see them even dropping deeper as well anyway, can't you? You know what I mean? So there's a way for them two to play together.
They haven't played much, have they, Joleon? No.
With him, I think he seems like he wants to play. He's happy as long as he's playing. I don't think he's going to want to be on the bench. And I think they're lucky that he can play in other positions.
Yeah.
Like, he can play out wide, operate up front. But I was surprised he starts for Brazil. Not saying he's not good enough or the talent, but I just thought Jesus would be the guy.
Yeah.
The way Jesus plays as a number 9.
They started with 4 strikers, haven't they? Like, they've adapted 4 strikers across that pitch.
But he is a sort of, not a target man, not an old school target man, but he's the main number 9. And if Brazilian media love him, like they go, he is the main reason why they play around him, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But like, does he go back to Tottenham? Does he play? Does he not play? Is he happy to be sitting on the bench? Is he happy to be played out of position? I wouldn't be happy if I won the World Cup in the top goal scorer. I'd be like, any day they move or be playing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a big thing.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Tottenham fans shouting at the thing now. What's he saying? Like, but you know what I mean? As an ex-professional, like, you can't go from the height. You can't go from the heights of the World Cup to going.
Well, especially the week after, the finals on the 18th or 19th, and then the Prem starts back on the 28th.
Is it League Cup game like
in between as well?
That week.
He's there.
I mean, it's like 3-4 days literally after. There's like League Cup.
So someone's going to come back on a high. Let's hope it's going to be England. Talking of England, Wales last night, great performance, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What do you make of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were brilliant first game as well against Iran. Then obviously the USA, lots of high energy and stuff, and there was a bit of they got a bit of stick. And typical England, you know, and that I can probably say it from the outside because being Irish is like they're going to win the World Cup or they're all rubbish. Like, you know what I mean? No, but you know what I mean. It seems there's no in between with the media and with the hype around them, you know. But again, last night against Wales, they were brilliant. Could have been more, like, you know. I mean, Wales were poor. I felt.
Yeah.
You know, looked
they
like
just not turn up this World Cup. You're thinking it's been such a long time.
They're aging. The transition is the difference between like Gareth Bale, Ramsey, and that coming to the end.
It's
and
so
it's
poor Gareth Bale, isn't he? Such a shame.
I think the second half, against USA, obviously when they got back, they took Roof on at half time and they changed it, and then give them a bit of momentum. We thought, they'd roll into the next game, but
we were saying that
they had no spark, didn't they? In the Iran game.
It probably would have helped them if England was the first game.
Yeah,
they've got that enthusiasm, they've got that kind of adrenaline rush, and then that result spurs you on in others, because it's a big ask in it to beat England 4-0.
Oh, it is. I mean, and the way that England played, I mean, what I found really good with them, that they were just patient. They sort of just ebbed and flowed with the game, but when they wanted to just bring it down a notch, they just done it.
But even like Southgate deserves credit, because the tweak he made at half time, just changing the wingers over. And all of a sudden then Rashford gets 2. And
so I think it's a good talking point as well, but about the offensive players that they have. Like, he's got so many, like, we talk about Brazilian defensive players they have. If you go through the England team, like
this is the most depth I remember.
Frightening.
The most depth I remember from any generation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember us having like 4 wingers like this. You know what I mean? With more as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking wingers: Rashford, Sterling, Saka. You could put Foden in that category as well, just because where he's going to play. I mean, Rashford surely has got to be putting himself in the starting lineup now.
It's mad how he's turned it around. Like Rashford
crazy.
last year.
I think he was the most informed player going into the World Cup.
No, but I'm just saying, go back 12 months with Rashford. Yeah. Like, he looked like he was disinterested, didn't want to be on the pitch. At times it seemed like, you know, that he just looked like
we've all been through.
No, I get that, but he looked like he lost love for the game, didn't he? Yeah. And then now he looks like, brilliant again, doesn't he? Like,
just seen playing with a smile. Yeah, exceptional.
I didn't think he was great in the first half in terms of his all-round play. I thought he'd give the ball away a lot. I know he was trying things, but it was a bit sloppy. Yeah. But then our goals just change games and change performances as well.
Confidence as well,
and
belief,
and phenomenal, wasn't it?
Massive. Fan.
Would you go with Rashford the next one, or would you go Sterling?
I love Raheem, but I think at this moment in time, Rashford has to play. But the only thing is with that is Rashford's goals have come off the right, Saka's come off the right. Yeah. So then you've got to pick between them two. So it's not necessarily you just putting Rashford in to play him on the left, because he hasn't operated on the left well enough. Yeah. So it's like, from a tactical point of view, you're like, well, you've got to pick between Marcus and Bukayo for the right slot. I don't know.
I think as well, but on the back of scoring a couple of goals. Like,
Yeah, but Bukayo scored a couple of goals, and he's like, yeah.
I'll get me coat.
Don't put another layer on, mate. You start sweating again. Do not put another layer on.
Would you go with that same front three, Kane, Rashford and Foden? Because it just seemed to work so well. The balance was there, although it was they swapped at half time. But
Do you think he made the changes, like quite a few changes last night, didn't he?
yeah,
Because he felt they had enough to beat Wales, because Wales obviously struggled against Iran, and he felt maybe I can save a few legs for the
certainly.
the knockout, like,
definitely, and it's a chance because that we're more likely.
But
to
now
go through.
does he create more of a problem for
Well,
himself?
of course he does, but
Yeah.
that's
It's the
what
problem you want.
Yeah.
It's the problem you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want your players to come in and have an impact and then give yourself a headache, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
You want all your players firing rather than going, we'll try them. They don't come on and do well, and then you're like,
I don't know if there's a wrong choice to make. If you're
Course
picking
not.
between them four players that
true,
we're
yeah.
speaking about, you're not going to be saying, well, he shouldn't be playing. It's just like, they're all quality, aren't they?
we spoke about Phil Foden, who was phenomenal as well, and someone that obviously you both know. But Jack Grealish, I mean, he's still, when he comes on, he performs. He just glides at players. He's like Phil, doesn't he? He attracts players to the ball. He's making the right decisions now. Can you play them both in the same team?
With Phil and Jack?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and would you play them both?
I would love to see both of them play.
I would as well.
One of them needs to play midfield then.
I was at
Yeah.
I know I don't want to get too much. I was at the Manchester derby, and Foden got a hat trick, Haaland got a hat trick, and Grealish was probably man of the match.
Yeah.
Assists, playing at
Yeah, he
both
was
right
on
and
the
left, they were
rally.
playing, and they were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
But then the frustrating thing from a Man City point of view is next week Pep puts Jack back on the bench or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can, of course, they can play.
Yeah.
Foden again last night showed to the world, and probably why there was so much media hype around him was
Yeah.
because he should be starting, because he's that good a player. But I just put my headspace in his headspace, because everyone's talking about him. He's on his phone saying like all this
Oh, yeah.
pressure,
Yeah.
and he went out onto the pitch and goes,
Just deliver.
No,
But that's
no problem, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but knowing Phil, like, he just wants to play. So,
Yeah.
like, as much as he would have been aware of all the attention he's getting, social media and everywhere, he would have been like, I just want to play.
But surely, if you're Foden and you're starting for Man City in front of all them superstars,
But
that
he
are
hasn't
there,
started though. You know, recently he's
Yeah.
like he started against Brentford, but before that, I think he missed like the last 4 games before that.
but he still stopped. But
Oh, he
he
played
did start.
enough.
He was
Yeah,
playing.
yeah,
But
yeah.
then you surely you're thinking after that, you can be starting for England.
But all of them can think that. Who's
Yeah, I
okay?
know.
Give me a player that thinks he shouldn't be starting for England.
Yeah, well, as we saying, the depth that we've got. At
That's the
moment
first
is
time we've
phenomenal.
kind of had that. You know what I mean? Even like Wilson, like the way he's performing. You know what I mean? Callum,
We're talking about, but then it's good that you're here with defensive players, and that's probably a bigger question mark. We're talking how brilliant that obviously England are going forward, and rightly so, and all these players. If he goes in, he doesn't weaken the team. If he goes in, he doesn't weaken
Yeah.
the team. At the back, then, would you say there's like Maguire? I thought's done
He's
brilliant.
been
Yeah,
Stones,
done well, yeah.
Stones
He's
has
been
done brilliant.
Stones,
Yeah.
Stones.
We look really
But it's
good.
mad. Like Maguire looks like a different player
Yeah.
with England.
Confidence, though, you know what it's like. We've all played the game, and you know when you feel loved,
Yeah, he's
and
in
you
an
know the
environment,
manager
isn't he?
wants you to do well.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
I'm not
people
saying-
would say that's maybe their downfall. I'm only talking from the outside again, and
Oh,
with my Irish hat on, I suppose. But because they are so good on the front line, is the test? Can they win the World Cup? You know, can they defend as a team? I'm not just talking about the back four, because obviously it's the back
No,
four
just
defending.
defensively.
Do you know what I mean? As a
Yeah,
unit,
no,
like,
They
you
come
know?
up
listen,
against Brazil, then they'll have
Yeah, but
questions,
Brazil,
won't
but Brazil will have to answer questions
Yeah,
as well.
I
Like
agree.
Brazil's defense is strong, but is it as strong as their attack? Like
Yeah.
everyone's gonna have to answer the same question,
Yeah,
because
true.
the balance of everyone's team isn't the same. Like no one's equally as strong at the back.
Mm-hmm.
You probably say Holland are probably stronger at the back.
Yeah.
But then they're so reliant on Gineppo.
Yeah.
Can they win it based
Yeah.
on him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's questions for everyone.
One player that I really want to focus on, who was outstanding again last night, Jude Bellingham. I mean, he just literally impresses me every single game for how young he is. I know people say he's got an old head on young shoulders, and his interviews are great, but the way he plays the game at 19 is just on the world stage.
I've not seen anything like that. Not in that position. You've seen like you see talented players at that age, mainly forwards,
Yeah.
but not so mature
Yeah.
in midfield. Like I'm trying to think of a midfield at 19 that was doing that.
We played them actually a couple of years ago at Derby as a coach, and he was the last game of the season. I think his last game for Birmingham, they retired their shirt, and I think he's only played like whatever amount of games.
Yeah.
He
He's
was
like
retired.
12.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think he must be some player. But then he spoke this after game. You know when you just come on the pitch and shake hands, well done, good luck for next season, blah, blah, blah. He actually says, oh, you deserve today, you played really well. Like he spoke to me like he was like a 30-year-old experienced pro, like and I was like, wow, like he was off to Dortmund, obviously on the back of that game. I was
he was
like,
playing that position there. He was playing like on the wing.
Birmingham team. But not just his playing, as you said he's been absolutely phenomenal in the World Cup, like a real shining star. But his maturity, just like talking and just. Yeah. He could have just shook his hand and walked away. Like he actually had time to.
Yeah, well grounded.
He seems well grounded, but his all-round play in midfield, the way he drives the ball, and I still think there's more to come from him. We know there is, but
it is.
He's supposed to be asking us the question.
But I just thought it last night when I watched the game. I'm thinking, what does he do or can he do that say Ruben Loftus-Cheek can't do?
Well,
is it just that he just does it?
Oh yeah, I think that is exactly it. I think with Ruben, you look at his physique and the way that he has performed, especially when on loan to Crystal Palace and the odd few games for Chelsea, he's not fulfilled his potential at all.
Was it last World Cup? He was decent.
Yeah, but I think with Jude, he's just got the shackles off, the inhibitions are gone, and he is just performing at the highest level. And you've got to say, at the moment, he's probably the best young talent in the world.
Be interesting where he goes. Where does he go?
Big statement.
Jude Bellingham's not one of the best young talents in the world.
No, he said the best. I think he said one of. Well, he's definitely one of them. Yeah. I think he said the best. It's like, ooh.
Then the question is, where does he go? Like, because obviously
wherever he wants to.
Dortmund's just
wherever he wants to
keeps
go.
a couple of players a couple of years.
Honestly, I just feel Chelsea are going to make it where Dortmund can't say no to them. I think they're just going to come and say, well, if everyone wants.
Everyone says Liverpool's a done deal, but I don't know how. But then
they're not in the Champions League.
But then you look at Real Madrid, they're Modric and co. They're aging a bit as well.
Like Valverde.
Yeah, no, but
Camavinga.
What I'm saying,
they're like
the reason I say Real Madrid is because he's that good to be.
Oh yeah, he definitely played there. But they've got players around the age of Jude that are in there.
Yeah.
And then you've got 4 players around the same age that on average probably cost you 100 million.
Well, look, he starts for England, and for me, he definitely starts in the next game. We're talking the next game. England, we won the Group B. We take on the runners-up of Group A, which is Senegal. Tough game. That's a tricky game. It's not on paper. People will be going England victory, but I watched Senegal a few times, and they're lively. They can cause us problems.
Oh, 100%. I think for the first time though, again when I'm watching this England team and this group of players, there seems like a real pride to play for England. I don't know if we've had that collective pride of players. I think there's people that wanted to play for England and enjoyed it, but I think our pride matches other nations now. I think when I look at other nations, I think they really want to play for that country, where I think we've just happy to be selected in the past, where now I'm like...
I think that's good what you're saying with Southgate's got that together.
That's like
he's created that. You read all the recent stories about the era you guys played in, probably with Scholes and Gerrard and all these people, and there was different cliques and stuff, and I'm not saying that was the case, I'm only saying what other people are saying, but it does, Julian's right, it seems like they've really pulling in the same direction, and it seems more like a club. So, attitude off the pitch, and there's a real togetherness with them, and you need that, when you go into battle, obviously, especially in a major finals.
Well, they'll need that more than ever going into this next game against Senegal, because that is a country, a team that they always seem united. That when the way they celebrate, the way they come out and warm up, they play. It's all, isn't it? All or nothing.
That's what I mean. So it's not going to be easy. 100%. It won't be easy. The conditions will probably help them as well. They'll be used to that, acclimatising to that, because I do believe the fact that it was like a week after the season, or a week before, like after the previous game, I don't think it's helped the Premier League players as much. I think like if you looked at Tunisia, Saudi, they've been together and acclimatised for that, and just adapted to that pretty quick. So that'll play a factor, but England win this game.
We should get it done in 90 minutes, shouldn't we? We should do. Let's hope it doesn't.
I hope so.
It does go to penalties.
2-1, I want to say.
2-1.
2-1.
Go on then. The other game so far is Netherlands versus the USA, which I've been impressed with the USA. That again, that's a tough game.
I mean, I think now at the stage, the pressure ramps up, doesn't it? One mistake, like a red card for either team, England or any of these teams, USA or whatever, it can change in a split second. We know how volatile the referees are and stuff. The pressure ranks up on the players and the people, because it's knockout stuff now. So
have Holland had a spell in any game where they've backs against the walls?
Well, I'm looking at their games, and I've watched them a couple of times, and they've just gone under the radar, haven't they? For the players that they've got, Depay, Gakpo, De Jong, Van Dijk, it just seems to have just gone under the radar, where the others are taking the limelight, but they haven't pulled up any trees for me.
Which is again
you've got to be wary of.
you got to be wary of. But having Dutch friends, Nigel, I'm sure they want to be above the radar.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
oh, yeah, of
what I mean?
course.
They want to
Yeah.
be noticed and stuff like that. So I think for other nations that would help. I think for them, they want to go, no, we want to be considered to win this tournament.
Yeah.
And what is it, the first time they've won all 3 games or something like that? So it's a big.
I don't think they've got enough to win the tournament.
To the tournament?
No.
Do you think they beat USA? I've been really impressed with the USA. I think with their energy, they're
just
young.
gonna say the legs and
enthusiastic.
stuff,
That's what might get them past Netherlands for me. If they were to beat them, just their energy.
It'd be a bit of a shock, I think, if they can beat them. Yeah. I think they can beat them, but I do fancy.
Oh, it's a bit of a shock
Holland to
if
go. I do
Oh,
fancy Holland to beat them.
I think it's more of a shock if USA win.
Yeah.
Not saying they can't, but I think it's more of a shock than the other way around.
Yeah. We all love soccer.
Awesome, man.
Some Virgin Bet odds. If you think Louis van Gaal's men will be beaten finalists, so they make it to the final and become runners-up in Qatar, Virgin Bet will give you odds of 9-1. Right, we're going to play our very own version of the Virgin Bet Fives game. You know the drill now, guys. I need you both to pick 5 names out of the bowl. You're going to get a point for every goal scored by the player that you've selected in their matches. The games that we're going to be looking at is going to be taking place this Friday. We've got Ghana versus Uruguay, South Korea versus Portugal, Cameroon versus Brazil, and Serbia versus Switzerland. So in the bowl, we've got a selection of players from them teams. I want you to take it in turns and pick 5 names at random to make your 5-a-side team.
I'm going to need some help with some pronunciation.
I was going to
Yeah,
say.
we do that. Don't worry, I'm on hand for that. So throughout the tournament, the guest has taken on the host. Last week, Joleon took on Danny Mills, and I can reveal Joleon scored 1 point with Lionel Messi's strike against Mexico. Danny Mills scored 0 points.
Oh.
So the host
1-0,
is
isn't it?
3-0.
Clean sheet.
Football.
Clean sheet.
Best result in football, that.
So Shay, you're under pressure.
Yeah.
Let's see what you're given. Did you like that?
I like with that.
Let's see what you're given.
Pressures for
Shay.
tires.
wow.
Pressures for tires.
Yeah, when you got to explain your jokes,
Daddy,
man,
Daddy.
they ain't that funny.
There's a joke and just a tumbleweed across the bar there.
I'll get my coat.
Give it to Shay.
Okay, first name.
He Chan Wang.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Hee Chang Wang, the Wolves striker.
Yes, that was good
French-
pronunciation.
I didn't mess that up.
Nine international goals so
got a
far
goal.
for his country.
I need
South Korea.
I need like Ronaldo now.
You
don't I?
you do pick a good one.
Victor.
Oh, he's struggling.
Yeah. Akpaba. Cameroon. Number 10.
Cameroon, you have got Vincent Abubakar. Yep. Second behind Samuel Eto'o in Cameroon's list of all-time.
Decent goal the other day.
Yeah.
Are we taking up his pronunciation? So are we just letting that slide? Oh, lads. Thomas Partey.
Thomas Partey.
He
also
is scoring, you know, goals.
P-A-R-T-Y. Why? Because he got a party, man.
Whoa. He's just happy with the names. He's not even happy with the goal scorers.
Listen,
He's a number 6. He's no chance of scoring.
he has scored.
Well, I can read it.
He has scored 13 international. 13 international
You
goals.
know how many appearances?
Come on, Thomas.
It doesn't say, but he's got 13 goals.
Played 127 games. Oh, brilliant. Oh. Mbolo, Switzerland. He
Oh,
gets
that's easy. Yeah, nice.
In
He
Bolo
scored in
for
this, didn't he?
Switzerland,
Yeah,
yes.
he's goal scorer.
The Swiss, he's a Cameroon
Cameroon,
born
Yeah.
striker.
He didn't celebrate him, did he?
He scored the winner against
Yeah,
Cameroon,
Cameroon
in
didn't
the opening
celebrate.
group game. So
Yeah.
again, someone that can score goals. Good so far.
Come on, test him.
Granit Xhaka.
Oh, this
Like
guy's
the Arsenal,
rating names,
Arsenal
isn't it?
5-a-side team I got going here.
Granit
Premier League?
Xhaka, listen, he's in scoring form at the moment for Arsenal, so
Arsenal,
he can do it for the Swiss.
The Swiss.
Switzerland.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Or
You know what he
Swiss.
meant. Look at his Shay.
And I'm on it.
Mitrovic.
Mitrovic.
Oh, nice.
Take
9 goals in 12 Premier League games for Fulham so far this season, and
He
bangs
should have had
in
that trick the other day.
for Serbia.
Doing well, isn't he?
Trick.
He's doing well.
2 more to go.
Come on. Korea. Brazil.
Richarlison.
Oh,
I'm gonna beat him, I can feel it.
Richarlison Scored
You okay, pal?
twice.
He's not,
you okay?
he's not starting the last game. He's
He
not gonna
scored
start.
twice
What, you
in
on about? He's
Brazil,
the main man.
Brazil's opening game
Maybe
against
he's
Serbia.
They've won 2, ain't they? They're resting players. I
They don't
know
rest
that,
him.
Shay.
They don't rest him.
Don't
TD's
know
been
that
on the
for
phone
sure.
this morning. He's playing.
Oh. Williams, Ghana. Inaki
Ghana.
Williams.
Yes, Inaki
brother plays for
Williams.
Spain, huh?
Atletico Bilbao.
He's played for Spain once as well.
Oh yeah.
He was born in Spain but chose to represent Ghana.
What
earlier
about
this
his
year.
club record? Like 7 seasons. He hasn't missed a game for like 7 years.
Yeah, well, can he bang in goals? That's
Luis Suarez.
Oh, Suarez,
Struggling.
Uruguay's all-time record goal scorer.
Had a good chance, couple of good chances all night, didn't he?
Yeah. Last one.
Is this the last one?
This is the last one.
Bruno Fernandes.
Oh yeah.
Portugal.
Bruno Fernandes.
Doing well, isn't
He scored 11
Race.
goals for Portugal. Did that goal, was that his goal or was it
Yes,
Ronaldo's
it was
goal?
his goal.
he? Who?
Bruno's.
Oh yeah, I agree. Like, because you know the spinning the ball, it didn't move, did it?
No, but have you seen what Ronaldo's done? He's
Oh,
told
my
Portugal, the
to
FA,
contest it.
to contest it.
Oh, do you not think that's embarrassing?
You're
though?
doing too much.
He wants to.
Come
be
on,
the-
Cristiano,
he wants
man,
to
you're
be
doing
the
too
But
best.
like, you're up there. Like, you don't need to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or is that
I
just-
agree. I agree.
Nah, it's a lot.
Huh?
It's a lot in it. It's painful.
Painful, yeah. It's a team game, isn't it?
Your five-a-side team. Pleased?
I'm buzzing with
What are
that.
we
Yeah.
looking with? Shay,
alright.
who's the standout man for you to get your goals and points?
It's just one game for the rest of the tournament.
No,
game,
this is just
mate.
the selected games this Friday.
You're not next week.
I'm going to go with Richarlison because
Yeah.
obviously
I would have said that.
Brazilian's main man, going to get loads of chances, I think.
I
What are you
got
saying, Joe?
You got a couple.
4 strikers in there. I'm gonna say,
Got to be Fernandes, surely. Right?
yeah, my midfielder. I'm gonna have to go with my midfielder. Yeah, nah, Mitrovic. I'm gonna.
Shay's looking over. He's not too happy with his. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, now
I'm
you've
just
realised.
checking.
Now you've realised I got 4 strikers, and you got 1 midfield, and I got 1 midfielder.
And I got 2 midfielders from Arsenal, so it's random, isn't it?
well, the host is winning 3-0 so far. So Shay's pressure was on you. You've picked up a bang average team, but we'll see.
Wow.
Right, if you want to get involved at home, it's really easy. Just download the Virgin Bet app and head over to Virgin Bet 5s to reveal a player every day to make up your squad of 5. If one of the players scores a goal in their selected game, Virgin Bet will credit your account with cash money. Simple as that. Head over to Virgin Bet app now for your chance to win some World Cup cash. You've got to be over 18 to play. Visit Virgin Bet app for full terms and conditions, and please gamble responsibly.
You're watching All to Play For, brought to you by Joe and Virgin Bet.
Okay, Shay, 2002 World Cup. You was there. We've got to go into Roy Keane and him walking out. What was the build up to that, or did you see it coming?
No, I was just looking back now. It was mad. Like, it was a bit of a, like, you're inside a bit of a movie. Like, did that really happen? It was a big kick-off. Obviously, it's well documented and well talked about since 20 years ago now. But obviously, Roy and Mick were going at it, like, in front of everyone, you know. So it was like, it was all
Was there a
guns
relationship
blazing.
fine before then?
I think there's a bit of an age, to be honest.
Right.
I think it goes back to when they were playing together,
Yeah,
and
okay.
I think they had a bit of a kick-off on the bus once after a game or after night out or something, whatever it was. But so I think then there's a bit of history there, you know.
Yeah.
I think Roy's doesn't forget things like that, you know. So
yeah.
I think
Whose side were you on?
what?
Whose side was you on?
I
Manager. Or...
don't know. I don't know. You pick sides, like.
I know. I know. Someone that was there that picked a side.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
I think in any club or any team, you have to have someone in charge of the team, and that's the manager.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to support the manager, I think, you know. And I think probably in the cold light of day, if Roy was asked, and he probably had never admit this, then he probably wish it hadn't happened either, and had to play in the World
Yeah.
Cup, you know what I mean? Because
course.
obviously we're a small nation, we don't get the opportunities, and it's been 20 years since we've been there, so it's like we don't get the opportunities very often, you know. So I was sure in the cold light of day he would have not liked to see what happened, you know. So
And this was down to basically the facilities and the preparation. Is that right?
that's what he said, yeah. I just
Sounds like he picked a side then. Sounds like he picked a side. That's what he said.
I remember I played with Damien Duff at Fulham, and he was talking about it, and
Yeah.
he said on one of the days, you said if this is true or not. I think the kit arrived late,
yeah.
and the pitches that you was training on was bone dry,
Yeah.
and so they wanted them to be watered, and they basically brought a tanker with water
Yeah.
and just sprayed the middle of the pitch, and it was
Yeah.
either literally you either played on a bog in the middle of the pitch or
Sand.
hard around the
Yeah.
edges.
I can understand.
just-
I can understand what Roy was saying, like, because obviously it wasn't good, but it was more like the end of a long season, it was more a week together. The lads, like, bit of training, bit of few beers, getting us together, like we said before, about a team sort of thing, you know. But and I know Roy as a captain would be sticking up for us. He'd be trying to get the best of it. So I understand that side of it,
Yeah.
but I don't understand the side of, you know, really kicking off and walking away or whether
Yeah.
being sent
Yeah.
home or not, becoming to some sort of, oh, I shouldn't have said that and whatever. You know, you you're playing in the World Cup. Like if you'd ever trained at all or played with balls or had to train out there in the car park, you would still want to play for your country in the World Cup. You know.
Yeah.
So
What exactly was said? Like,
jeez, what wasn't said to me?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that was that mainly all from Roy and just Mick was.
Mick gives us as good as he
It
gets.
was spicy enough, like yeah, it was spicy, yeah. So I mean, it's just one of them things that happens, Sid, and it's like, I think even the country back in Ireland are a bit split. There'll be, I wouldn't say 50-50, but there'll be quite a few on each side, and be agreeing on both. But I just can't get my head around how any player would not want to play for the country. You know what I mean? In such a big tournament, the biggest.
Mick has said that he wished Roy asked him to step outside during that confrontation.
What for? To have a quiet debate or have it off?
If they was to step outside, whose corner would you throw your hat on?
Wouldn't fancy fighting Mick, all right, to be honest.
I know.
That was a young Mick as well.
I know, yeah.
I've had big Mick. I've seen him. He's lost his rag with me when I nearly signed for Wolves.
When you never. That's when.
And I didn't. Yeah.
I think you told me that story.
Yes, one for another day. A big shadow appeared next to my car, put it that way, and he undone the window about that much.
You tried to claw in there.
I just said, is there a problem? But yeah, you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of either of them, would you?
No, definitely not. No, mate, as Julian said, Mick can hold his own, but obviously Roy's got we all know, a fiery side to him as well, so I wouldn't really fancy getting the wrong side of Roy either, to be honest, but probably have done after this interview, but don't matter. He knows where I live.
Oh, you hear that, Roy? Shay's calling you out.
Have you talked to Roy since? Obviously, it's a long time since that happened. But after
I've met him a few times and stuff, but it's never really spoke about, to be honest. As I say, Roy's strong on his views on it and what happened, and he feels right, and of course, Mick's strong on his as well. It just wasn't ideal. Even talking about it now, and people will take bits from this interview as well and go, Shay Given says this, Shay Given says that, or whatever. Yeah. It's quite a big headlines, even 20 years down the road. It's kind of like big news in it. But
because the World Cup,
and he was Roy Keane. Yeah, you know what I mean,
he's
like one
just
of the
as
best
a player,
players.
like obviously in that group, you just wish it hadn't happened. You just wish we could have all been together and went to a World Cup and seeing where we went. We got beat off Spain on penalties, and I know people might looking back goes on extra time. They were hanging on for penalties. We missed a penalty in the game. Ian Hart missed a penalty during normal time as well. So
missed some saves that game. Didn't
we deserved. Thought we'd go through, but again, how far would you went with your captain? Arguably your best player. Would we have got past Spain that night?
Was anything said in terms of when Roy left? Was it just kind of right, that door's shut now, we just need to focus on...
Well, again, like for me, for example, it was my first World Cup, and looking back, they've not been back since. You don't know if it's ever going to happen again. It's different in England, they qualify for all the World Cups, most of them anyway, so for us as Ireland, we don't know, if it's going to last or how long it's going to last, so, nothing was going to take that away from me, and I think there was, we have to...
Who took his place in the team?
Mark Kinsella, I think it was. Yeah, so, again, it's an opportunity for someone else, but... we performed really well. There's always that question, what would have happened if he had been there? Would we have done better, or could we have went? Because I think that World Cup was, there's a few surprise candidates got the semi-finals, and I know you do dream and stuff, but the next couple of rounds weren't too difficult, not difficult, but they weren't like against Brazil or Argentina. There were games you think maybe, you just dream, don't you? You think you can go further, but you will never know. No one will ever know.
No. Well, look, we'll go on to another matter in Ireland's history. It's time for What Really Happened. We're going to go back to a moment in your career and find out more about it. I want to go back to 2009, Ireland's playoff against France to qualify for the 2010
you got any good
World
questions over there?
Cup.
I made a save once.
It was Thierry Henry's infamous handball, wasn't it? I mean, I remember watching this game because I think I was playing. I was at Villa at the time, so Danny was playing for Ireland. I knew Kevin Doyle and a few of the lads as well in the team, so I was rooting for Ireland to go and do it. You lost 1-0 in the first game.
Yeah.
And then was that Roker Park?
No, it was. I think it was Lansdowne, but it might have been Crow Park, was it? Yeah.
So there was I remember being a big crowd.
Remember, actually.
1-0, and then you go into the second game. What's the memories of that incident? Because the free kick, the handball, Gallas scores.
To be fair, the first game in Dublin, go back a wee bit, the first game in Dublin, we didn't play that well. It's obviously some massive pressure games, a playoff, the World Cup, the whole country's there, and obviously the country comes to a standstill to watch. We felt as a team we didn't do ourselves justice, and they got a 1-0. It might have been Henry actually scored in the first game, and then it was like we sort of had a bit of a huddle before the game in Paris, and it was a bit like a little bit caution to the wind. Like we have to, as a group, like if we're going to go down, then we're going to go down and show everyone, you know, we've left everything on the pitch. And it was one of them nights, you know, everything seemed to click for us, and we played really well. And, you know, we scored and we got back. We were back to 1-1. You know, and there, obviously the crowd, they had all the French. The place was rammed, like, but we quietened down the crowd, and it was like one of them nights. Is like we can do something magical, you know, really magical here. We can actually get to the finals, you know. And then obviously the moment you're talking about is the Henry thing, you know. It was just one of those. I was probably the closest to it, like, you know, and probably where you're sat now. I was the keeper, and he was here, obviously with his arm, and it was kind of mad, like, because it wasn't a single handball; it was a double handball. It hit his forearm, and then he pulled it back in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was so obvious.
Was the refs on the?
I think
the linesman was on the other side, wasn't it?
The linesman was on that side, so he was looking right across. So he, if anybody in the whole stadium should have seen it, it was him, because he was like it was in front of him like this. He was looking right across the line, you know.
But wasn't that the time when we had the refs that was like behind the goal as well? The officials?
No, they weren't there then.
No.
But the thing for me, it was so obvious. I was just going to get the ball to take a free kick. And I think even Henry might have thought that. It's like it was. It wasn't even just like a wee subtle. It was like a proper. He must have thought, "Oh, I'm not getting away with that." Like I've turned around, the refs pointing to the middle of the pitch, and I'm like, "Wowzer, you both." I play with you both. Like, you never see me sprint so much in my life. Like, but literally,
you was out.
I was like Usain Bolt after the referee. I was
Sweating
sweating at that
real.
point, yeah. But
Raging.
it was just a disbelief that
that's going to be given.
He's actually given a goal.
I'm surprised VAR didn't come in after that. Like things like that. That is like, because it come in after what Lampard's, or that was the Hawkeye goal line. I'm like,
that was a bit
things like
different,
that. You're like, come on.
With that one, as you say, it was a double hand. It was like hit there, and then he just
pulled it
popped
back,
popped it back in. What did you say to the ref?
No.
Well, really. Or what did the ref say
Just
to you?
disbelief.
Did he
Then he was looking over the linesman, like for a bit of like, because I think as a human being, as obviously the referees are, it's like my reaction and the other player's reaction. I might have messed up here. There must have been at some point, but because he didn't see it,
what can he give?
He can't give what he didn't see. But then, you know, the linesman, someone, or even the fourth official, or someone has to have seen it, like, you know. Because it wasn't just like, I think I might have.
There's always something like the lines. I'm thinking what else are you looking at then? If you're not looking at that, what are you actually looking at?
The thing is, it lingered on. I remember watching it. It went on for a couple of minutes, and you're thinking they could turn this around this decision, because they was both looking at each other, thinking, I think we've got one up here. But the referee had to take the authority to say and put his head on the chopping block really and go, I didn't see it, but I'm gonna have to.
Well, to be fair, in his defence, if he doesn't see it,
you can't.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but someone's got to see it. There is a rumour I heard. They stopped selling Henry Hoovers in Ireland. The Henry Hoovers.
Not gone down well.
They stopped selling them after that.
Wow.
Yeah, took them out all the shops and that. Imagine.
I'm not sure if he's been back in Ireland since.
Brave man. Did it tarnish his career?
I don't
Thierry,
think so.
A little bit.
I don't
Maybe
think
in Ireland
so.
it did, but
I mean, what I know, like what could he have done different, sort of, on his defence a little bit?
That's what I'm saying.
What you know, if you're in the same position, you guys on the pitch,
it's a natural reaction.
You try to do it, you don't expect to get away with it.
I'm not thinking of. I'm just saying, like, as a professional, when you took yourself back to such a big game like that, for example, do you think, or you would have done, or any of you would have done, and went to the referee and says, we've seen bits, we've seen things like that before. We've seen like Robbie Fowler with a penalty thing and things like, no, it wasn't a penalty, blah blah blah. Do you think you or
he should
anyone
have gone and said,
or he should have?
It being that obvious, you'd like to think.
No, see, if it's that obvious, I'm thinking you've seen that. I'm thinking you've seen it, so I don't need to say I handballed that. You're going to see, and then I'm thinking, I might get away with that.
I'm celebrating. I'm
not going over to him to say to him, I handballed that.
He come out and said that the game should have been replayed, I think, after, which was obviously too late. I'm assuming that FIFA
Thierry,
can't.
It's too late. It's too late.
Should have done it in the celebration.
Them empty gestures.
I remember an image that I'll never forget when he sat on the pitch with Danny after.
Yeah.
Danny was just sitting there.
Yeah.
And he come and sat next to him.
That was strange, wasn't it?
That is a wild one.
And I think he actually said to him that he did handball it on the pitch to Danny. But you know the character that Danny's like, and he was just like, I'm thinking he's going to want to rip his head off, surely.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird. I remember the picture. I can still remember it today. Like, you know, sitting on the pitch and both just talking. It's like they were.
It was crazy, wasn't it?
At the end of a, like, I don't know, a Sunday league game or something, like, you know. But the stakes were so high, obviously, and I obviously don't know what exactly he said, like. But I think there must have been some sort of realization from Henry at that point that, like, this is going to be quite big, like. Do you know what I mean? Because of the consequences. And I mean, should there have been a replay? You know, because it was such an injustice. Even the French people were saying, it was an injustice, you know. And even when they got to the finals, I don't know if you remember when they were at the finals, they were like, you were arguing and fighting, and they didn't go to the final. One of the fitness coaches whistle off, threw it over the hedge and all. Like people talk about karma in life or karma in sport or whatever, and it was like as if like they were there on a what's the technical? Like it was like a wrongdoing really as such, you know. I don't know. It's just probably me from an Irish point of view, wishing it was a replay and seeing what would happen.
Did you watch the World Cup that summer, or did you watch it?
I did. I probably did. Yeah. Jeez,
in terms of
disappointments,
in terms of disappointments, that must be ranked.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get any. You know, as I say, I think us as a group of players and as a nation, it was like, you know, we felt we deserved to go to penalties, obviously, and gave ourselves the opportunity because on the night we probably the best we've played, I think, in a long time, and it wouldn't have been a lucky result to get 1-0 out in France, you know, and take it to penalties. We would have deserved that, you know. Yeah. So it's just the injustice of it. We felt there was an injustice, obviously, after the game, but again, it's sport, you know. Sometimes you don't always get what you deserve. You
would have come up against Thierry in the Premier League after that. Did you resent him at all, or was it a case of? Was there anything mentioned?
I don't think there's any resentment towards him.
I think he went then.
Did he?
2009.
He was going to Barca.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not good with years, but I don't remember. I've been doing a few things with him before and stuff, you know. But he's never really. He's not mentioned it. Like
I don't think I've seen him
about himself.
Him and Roy on Sky. I don't think I've seen them together.
No.
No, that's a good one.
Might not see me and Roy together after this either.
Anywhere.
I know.
Talking of France, Virgin Bet odds. If you think Olivier Giroud will win the Golden Boot, Virgin Bet will give you odds of 18-1. Looking good, France. So that's a good bet. Look, that's all we've got time for. Shay. Wow. Absolute top man. Thanks for coming in and fitting us in, because you are busy at the moment. You're on our TV screens and radio and
social media. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Not as much as Joleon.
What?
I'm just like, was it waiting for the knockdowns off Joleon to get a few jobs? Like, you know what I mean?
Listen, with them shopping bags that you walked in with earlier on.
Life's treating well. Life's treating well.
The next one can we do up in Manchester, somewhere near home? Might be cheaper for me.
Look, Shay, thanks for coming on. Absolute pleasure, and best of luck going forward. Remember to find us on the Joe YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcast from. You have been watching All to Play For, brought to you by Joe and Virgin Bet.
You've been watching All to Play For, brought to you by Joe and Virgin Bet.